Greetings traders, Jason here with SwingHigh.com. It is Friday, December 11th, 2009, and this is your post-market analysis. Stocks are mixed today, which to my eye comes as a rather bullish sign. The fact that we didn't sell off across the board when this news came out that the House passed a broad Wall Street regulatory overhaul came out, that news should have served as a low blow to Wall Street, and you could have expected a stock sell-off on that news, but the markets are handling that news fairly well, so that's a good sign. This is the Bloomberg economic calendar for next week. One thing that I'm seeing that's special is next Friday is quadruple witching, which means there's various options coming due on that day. To be more specific, single stock options, stock futures, or single stock futures, index futures, and index options all come due on that day. So usually there's a lot of volatile action on quadruple witching days. So be careful on Friday, but that's still a week away. I'm not going to read off all of these, but the Bloomberg economic calendar does a nice job here of showing you which reports are going to have weight with these stars. The red ones are potential market movers, and the yellow ones are still important. The other ones are just news in general. Okay, so that's it for the news. Here we have the S&P up 0.4%, the Dow up 0.7%, the NASDAQ down 0.4%, the financials up 0.7%, and the Russells up almost a full percent. So definitely some relative strength in the Russells, not so much in the financials as they were equal to the Dow. So that's a good sign to see those indexes catching up. I would have liked to see the NASDAQ behave a little better, but it did sell off today, which is something to take note of. Let's look at the market internals. The tick was, that's fine. My roommate just dropped his speaker. The tick was bullish for the most part. The Trin spent most of the day around neutral. The VIX sold off. I was a little worried around halftime report time that the VIX was spiking hard, but we put in a swing high there, which pretty much closed the gap for the VIX, and then sold off back to the opening levels. So the VIX finished down 3.3%. I'm going to take a look at the broader time frame here of the indexes. Here we have the S&P still in this high base formation and pretty much right in the middle of it. I want to see it come up here and test the highs next week. That would be a very bullish sign, and especially if we can break out above those highs, that would be nice. The Dow also has a high base. It's a not much, but it is a stronger formation than the S&P's high base, and as you can see here, we're already testing the highs. So the Dow looks like it's poised to break out soon. I'm going to actually pull this line down here, clean that up a little bit. So the Dow looks like it could break out next week. The NASDAQ is also in a high base. It's actually relatively strong compared to the S&P's high base. It is much tighter and closer to the top of the formation, but it did pull back today. The financials, relatively weak, as you can see. The other indexes put in a high base and the financials pulled back, but if we do break above this trend line, that would be a good thing. That's the blue trend line right there. The Russells, I'm going to actually take a look at the RUT, which is the index. We have this nice symmetrical triangle formation, and we are approaching the apex, so we're due for a breakout in either direction there. I did take a few trades this week, mostly out of the fact that I haven't traded in a month or so. I know the markets aren't totally bullish, but the fact that they're holding up gives some merit here. They all are small positions. So here's Starbucks. We had an ascending triangle breakout, or a high base breakout there. BGFV, we had a symmetrical triangle breaking out, bounce off this lower support line.